Welcome, the Gamer Man's Lounge. Awaken to play.
For almost a week, starting the 19th of September, Nexon decided to release a crossplay open beta test for their upcoming title, The First Descendant. This looter shooter would give more players the chance to try the game out and give feedback, so that the devs can make improvements and adjustments. This means the game isn't finished yet, you are playing a beta, or were playing a beta. These things show up with the sole purpose to collect feedback and work with feedback to ensure better release of the final product. I did jump in and tried the game out. Good times were had, and I gotta miss those golden bunny buns for a while. I mean, this game needs more time before releasing, I will say. Even a free-to-play game should launch the best as it gets, meaning more optimization and fine-tuning. I will get into the issues later. Right now, what is The First Descendant? It is a looter shooter to be released as a free-to-play title. This third-person shooter gives you the ability to pick your character, or shall I say Descendant. There are other Descendants with unique personalities and skill sets to unlock. I'll get to that later. The story tasks you with fighting the battle against the Vulgus, a faction that has been causing apocalyptic amounts of trouble. You are tasked with finding 3 Iron Hearts with the hopes of turning the tide of the battle. However, something comes up and you are warned to destroy the Iron Hearts. The story does get really interesting. However, the open beta will let you play through the story up until you fight off some whack job at Vespers and someone decides to be a douchebag who should shut his bitch ass the fuck up, who shows up out of nowhere. You do have the story and environment missions, your co-op special ops that test how far you can go, and the Void Intercept boss battles. This game will be at most a strict co-op experience. You can play these quests alone, but do pay mind to the difficulty. If you wish to be a lone wolf the whole road, then this one might not be for you. Maybe we can get a time extension on our boss fights so we can get more breathers? Anyway, while some boss fights do need some slight nerfs in my opinion, it is a matter of getting your gear and modules optimally that will keep you alive and help you at most. While you can enhance your reactor and craft weapons as well as playable character unlocks, 2 additional mechanics I want to mention the most. Modules, which you have to upgrade to, where you can apply those bad boys to your Descendant and weapons to enhance and add extra kicks. Also, weapon-level transmissions, in which it is recommended to farm the materials by, quote, scrapping as junk weapons you don't want. This will allow you to pretty much get the materials which you can farm to big key materials. Now, doing this will allow you to take your most used weapon and using another weapon at a higher level, levels up your weapon from, say, a level 16 to a level 36. It's very much preservation friendly. Also useful for the rarest weapons, especially the ones you craft. The gameplay is challenging, but make use of your Descendant abilities, find the optimal setups, and you are good. Now on to the Descendants. You can unlock more than one to play as. Keep in mind, they all start from level 1, so get grinding. Also, each Descendant comes with a unique set of abilities. For the starter pick, I chose Viessa. She utilizes ice-based attacks that would freeze and slow down enemies. Her ult even unleashes a mini blizzard. Viessa seems to be really optimal for crowd control. For starters, she is a joy to play as, and I did manage to check more characters than 2, so let's get going to the other characters. Also, you do get a quest to unlock Bunny as a playable character, and you will have a good time with Bunny. She is really fun to play. Just get the hang of her mechanics as well, and you are good. She centers around electric-based attacks. She does have 2 meters, her mana meter, which everybody else has, and her unique one. Constant movement recharges her second meter, which is essentially you need filled to use her abilities, with the exception of the second skill, which is essentially running fast. That second skill charges her second meter quicker, and with the third ability activated, increases the frequency of her ring of electricity. Her ult can be a brutal hyper laser beam, or a charged burst of electricity depending on what module you added to her. Like I said, get the hang of her and learn her, she will be fun to play. Freyna, basically the damage overtime queen, centers around toxic and acidic attacks where she can poison her foes and do damage over time, like I said. She can also summon a puddle, unleash an aura that punishes enemies who dare hit her, and summon a toxic tummy gun. Okay, maybe I'm just being a goofball with it, but yeah, she does summon a Tommy gun that does toxic damage. She was a very unique character. The issue with her is that she seems to be in some way squishy for some reason. Don't let her run out of shields. Glay is a very interesting one. Now, going back to the topic of the mana meter, not everybody gets one. And Glay is one of those characters. Made a mistake there. But anyway, she also has no shields, but can buff herself and refill her health on her own. You do have to collect these green orbs in order to fill up her red meter. This is her replacement, and this allows her to use her abilities. When she buffs herself and the damage is amped, using her third ability will refill health or buff like hell depending on whether you have her on normal or frenzied. Her ult summons a pistol that will stun enemies as well. I do see where they're trying to go with this, but I think maybe we should have the orbs come to her when she is near, or maybe make her third ability suck up any nearby green orbs. And finally, Velby, who is very interesting. She centers around water-based attacks. Her puddles of water can do damage. Her ult summons her water grenade launcher that can trap enemies on bubbles. Her water messes do damage over time, and she is really a crowd control madwoman, if you think about it. She can also teleport and kick you in the face. She is really as hyperactive as Bunny, however, she was fun to play as well as, but how is it that she has the most fitting battle theme compared to other Descendants? While the selection of characters is great, however, on to the big issues. This is where the game needs more time before release. They might want to delay this game, if they have a set release date. The frame drops were plenty, and the game does run well at most, of course, but expect frame dips occurring when there are too many enemies, you play with other players, and take on special operations with other players, and on most missions when not careful. You will run into a dilemma where you have to kill what shows up as fast if you want to keep your frames. Do expect also netcode-related shenanigans that do need to be aired out, but I do want to focus on the performance of the game. Moving on over to performance, they might want to work with NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel as they want to ensure more optimization and also to make sure the game stays as below 8GB VRAM usage as possible. While it is a good thing we have DLSS, FSR, and XeSS, the optimization still needs to be dealt with the most. I know it is an Unreal Engine 5 title, but they might want to fine-tune things from left and right. That said, making sure the game gets more polish is crucial. For the best, all the developers need to do is take the feedback, address the issues, continue to take things with more time to ensure less complications, and the launch will do far better than other games. As for the first Descendant, will I play the final product? Since I got hooked into the game, I will. At launch, we will see how things play out. Good times were to be had with the first Descendant, though. That is all. I will be looking forward to you in the next video, and also Golden Bunny Buns.